So you're interested in manager training for your organization and want to know how we at Manager Method can help, including our Manager 101 packages and how they can make sure that the training sticks. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly that, what our Manager 101 course is, give some examples, and how we have ready-to-go toolkits so you can not only have your managers take the course, but run internal follow-up toolkits and have those ready to go as soon as you like, and how it practically works to work together. So if you go to managermethod.com and you go to courses in Manager 101, you can see more information on our Manager 101 course. This is a course of just over 5 hours. It's a video-based course broken up into modules and submodules, all designed to keep your employees' attention and make sure that they understand the hard and soft skills. So you can see all of this on our site, but it includes things like imposter syndrome, leveraging that support, ways that managers can think strategically in real terms, not just the words that no one knows what to do with them, but things like equal employment opportunity, discrimination, anti-harassment, also team meetings, delegation, performance management, even difficult conversations. So I created Manager 101 based on years of being in HR and legal, and this isn't a substitute for your HR or it's not legal advice. What this is designed to upskill your managers, because I frequently was having the same conversations and saw that managers didn't have basics. So this course isn't to turn managers into HR or legal. This is to work hand in hand so that managers are able to own conversations more and be empathetic leaders that also get the results that your organization expects. So frequently in the videos, it'll say, this is what your HR can work with, so that it works hand in hand with you as you roll it out. So again, you can see this on our site and see what others have said that have rolled out Manager 101 in our packages. But let's assume that you want to work together. So when we work with organizations, then you provide us the names, the emails of those managers you want to roll it out to. But we want to make sure that the communications are spot on. So we have a whole communications packet. So that includes template communications for you to let managers know that you're going to be investing in this training. Because frequently on your careers page, it may say, our people are our number one resource. We often see things like that. And so this ties with that so that this comes from your voice and managers know this training is coming. It also introduces some of those follow-up cohort sessions. So managers understand exactly what to do, that they'll take this training. Often organizations will break it up into chunks of kind of 4 different deadlines. And we have example schedules and communications for exactly that so that you can roll things out. And so once you've let managers know to take it, they'll get communications from us. They'll have a dedicated login. So each manager has their own login to our site. And they can always access it as well on the customer login at the bottom of our page. So let's say managers log in. So this is what managers will have with their portal. And so for each manager, they have access and it's a trackable. So we can pull reports. We often provide those on the first of the month for organizations so they can make sure that their managers are actually leveraging that investment. And in our communications, we also have reminders and even some of those communications nudging those employees managers that may need a reminder to get started with the training. So when managers log in, you can see how this works. So again, these are each of modules, and then they have sub-modules in here. So this makes sure that it keeps people's attention. So again, organizations will sometimes have deadlines, and we have examples to break it up into roughly 4 equal parts. Other organizations will want to have managers take a module each week and break it into weekly team meetings if you have that. And so we have example communications for however you're looking to roll it out. And you can customize those as much as possible, but we try to make your life easier in getting those rolled out. So when managers take those, and here's the welcome screen. So they have the videos. This is where they start. But also what we have is a resource guide. So this is to make sure that as managers take the training, they're not just expected to be taking down notes or even typing notes constantly, that can take their attention away from the learning. So we have a downloadable resource guide. Each manager gets an email link to it, but also they have a copy. And so it's clickable. So it follows every single one. So imposter syndrome, for example. So this resource guide helps to track the training to drive it home. And we've had managers tell us that they go back and look at it. For example, at performance review time, they go and look at some of those sections as applicable throughout the year. So to see what our training looks like. Welcome to Manager 101. I'm Ashley Hurd, founder of Manager Method. Whether you're a new manager or an experienced manager looking for additional tools and learning, I want to get one thing out of the way. Being a manager or people leader can be really hard. A lot of people just wing it. But by investing your time, energy, and resources into a course like this, you're doing something a lot don't. So this gives an example of we're always trying to meet managers where they are. And some of those questions, is this just for new managers? Having each of your people managers take this and be able to get on the same page can be helpful, including some of your senior leadership, because the data shows that for a transformation, including leadership culture, having even those senior executives take it and be able to show all of your managers that they're doing the same training can be helpful to get those on the same page. So as an example, we have, for each, we say, I create videos on social media, so I understand how important it is to be engaging. And so here's how, for example, each of them start. Well, I don't like your tone. Yeah, I'm going to send an email to HR about this so they put something in your file. That handles it. For each of the topics we'll go through, it can be important to keep some rules of the road in mind. So in each of the videos, it starts with a role play where it meets managers where they are and has some of the common things I hear managers speak. So for example, I'm going to have HR handle this, put something in someone's file. And in these, we talk about having some more empathetic but still clear conversations can be helpful. And so I have those role plays in each one of the modules. Things like one-on-one meetings, an example of a manager saying, I'm busy, they're busy, I'll give them the time back. But to explain why keeping one-on-one time can be important. And so the course follows this. And so the feedback that we've gotten is that it's a really conversational style and can make it more engaging for teams. Again, breaking this up into deadlines can be helpful. So that's a sense of what that looks like. So managers go through, and so they may take a few modules at the time, depending on your schedule. But then the question is, how do you ensure that it sticks? Because the research shows that actually implementing learnings helps to make sure that the learnings actually come to life. So what we have is a multi-part series, or multi-part tools. So we have the video-based learning. And in part, we have this because whenever you're doing training, you have to decide how you're going to provide it. You can do solely a live session, but then if employees are sick, they can't make it, or then they're not there, and watching a recording of a live session like that, especially if it's presented to others, can be less than engaging. Or you may be spending a lot of money to have people fly. Well, then people sit through it, but they may be sitting there trying to take notes or forget things. And so sometimes it can be helpful, but it doesn't always fully stick. And so that's why we have the video-based learning, but make sure that it's engaging so that your employees, your managers will pay attention. And so they can take it, again, self-paced, and it's trackable to make sure they're taking it. But then having those follow-up sessions. So whether you're in person or hybrid, having these sessions to drive home the training. So this can be part of weekly manager meetings, or you can have focus meetings. Like I said, a lot of organizations will break this up into 4 or more sections to talk through these topics. But so what we have ready to go is Toolkit. So we call this Manager's Key Situations. So this is customizable. So the Toolkit has 2 things. One is it has this PowerPoint. So this is what managers see. So this is to explain rules of the road, to make sure that managers are practicing these skills and the learning and talking about these before they're just facing all of them in real life. So for each, it includes different scenarios and then questions for discussion. So it can be an individual contributor, but do you worry whether you're cut out to be a manager? And these are conversations that I have frequently with managers. And so these are all designed not just to repeat back of what did you learn about imposter syndrome from the training, but to generate some of that conversation. And so we have each of these, and they each track the modules. So a lot of organizations will have these, and they'll say, okay, we assigned the first 3 modules, so we'll get through those. We'll pick up in the next meeting with the next series. So this includes conversations for all of your cohort sessions. Again, so this is so that you can have these internally. We have resources that we can help lead those, but often for organizations, they say, they've heard from me in the training, but for you, having this ready to go can be helpful. But you may be thinking, okay, but this looks like it takes some prep. Okay, how do I roll this out? What do I say? Well, that's why this is the PowerPoint that managers see. But for you in HR, we have a customizable toolkit. And so this includes everything, including talking points to have the training. And for each of those slides, it includes coaching points. So the idea is that you go through the slides, you generate conversation, which is included in the initial talking points, and then there's coaching that you can add on top of it. You can always customize these for your voice. You can add more scenarios, add more questions, tweak the language, however you like. That's why it's in PowerPoint and Word. But this is designed so it's ready for you to roll out. You can literally have it ready to go this afternoon if you're watching this. So altogether, this is our Manager 101 packages. And so for organizations, we provide volume discounts. And so if you're interested in rolling this out, we're happy to explain what that would look like based on your volume. And again, we make it easy. So we work together, we can enroll your managers, we just need their names, emails, and we will send the communications out to them as soon as you give us the go-ahead. And you receive also a Word document from us with the communications templates to get these rolled out and to show that you're investing in your managers. So all of this is designed to help you upskill your managers, but doing it now rather than this having been item 300 on your plate. So the feedback we've gotten on this has been fantastic across industries, across managers of different tenure. And so we're happy to answer any additional questions you have and hope that this gives insight into what it actually looks like and brings it to life so that you can have it for your organization with confidence. Thanks.